Hi, this is Jason Wright, and today I'm going to be talking about the modification that I made to a piece of ADL equipment. Now, my field work took place at a uh, sensory clinic. Um, so, needless to say, a lot of the children had sensory processing issues to some degree. They didn't focus so much on the diagnoses of the children, though a lot of them had autism, but there are a range of different diagnoses that a lot of these children exhibited. But one thing I did notice in looking at a lot of their goals was that hygiene seemed to be a problem for a lot of them, particularly oral hygiene, and that's understandable because um, uh, the bristles could be sensitive. The child could be sensitive to the bristles of a toothbrush, whether it's on their gums or their teeth or what have you. So um, when the child more than likely is going to um, reject having a toothbrush in their mouth, and or if they do get it into their mouth, it's going to be a very short period of time, and they're not going to properly brush their teeth. So what I came up with would combat that. Let me preface this by saying, though, that I understand that there would be some steps that would need to be taken in order for the child to have the toothbrush introduced to their mouth. The You'd have to take baby steps in order to get to that point, whether it's brushing one tooth at a time or just having the toothbrush touch the lips or what have you. But once you get to the point where the child is ready to introduce the toothbrush to his or her mouth, that's where this would come in. So this is what I came up with. It's essentially two toothbrushes taped together, and these are adult-sized toothbrushes, but obviously for a child you'd want to use some smaller ones. And the theory behind this is that it will allow the child to properly brush their teeth without, both top and bottom in a shorter period of time, because they're going to be really not want the toothbrush in their mouth for any real length of time. And then once they've become accustomed to brushing their teeth this way, you can take one of them away, and then it becomes even more manageable for them, so that they can. So now that they're using, then it's smaller, and it's easier for them. So, and conversely too, once you have children that are, if you have children that are sensory craving rather than sensory defensive, this might be having that, because this has more bristles, and might actually provide more oral stimulation for them too. So a lot of the literature said that for those type of children, a vibrating toothbrush is a good tool to use, but in lieu of, in absence of that, this should provide enough oral stimulation for those children. I brushed my teeth with this just a little bit ago, and I felt it did an adequate job. So allow me to demonstrate. Now, the one problem with this modification that you might notice is that while it's hitting the top of the teeth pretty well, it's not really hitting the sides of the teeth and along the gum line. But what you could do, you could still use this modification just on a different type of toothbrush. And they have available what's called a three-sided toothbrush. I don't have one with me, but I'll show you a picture. As you can see, each tooth, or the bristles are coming from the sides and from the top, so you're hitting the tooth from all angles. If you were to use my modification and tape two of these together, you could theoretically hit all the teeth from all angles in a very short period of time, both top and bottom, in just a few quick strokes, so that the child will be able to properly brush their teeth in a very short period of time, and before they were to have a meltdown. So this toothbrush here, I just showed you, it's $5 on Amazon, so times two is $10. You could get a regular toothbrush for maybe a couple bucks at the store. Times two is $4, a little bit of tape, and you're good to go. So it took me only about a minute to make that modification. So unfortunately, we didn't work on hygiene skills at the sensory clinic, so I don't have evidence to show you that this would work. But I believe that with children that have some issues with sensory processing, I believe this is a way to at least make the toothbrushing process a little bit easier for them. Okay, so I thank you for listening, and have a good day.